Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Bigback Shepherd. I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter from an asteroid near Brow. August next.
Sorry. I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin for Brawl. I was expecting Taikami.
Yeah, he's not feeling well today, unfortunately.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Salem Motor. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage.
Hey there. Hey there, I'm Zach, and I play the character Lafdul Moonglade, a special priest thief from Realm Space, from Evermead. His fun title for today is the Quixotic. Oh god, I've already failed. Preternatural, ubiquitous, prodigal, lexical adventurer. That was a horrible one to pronounce.
And let's
it's
all...
basically... No. This is basically the super silly wordplay guy.
Why didn't you
let's
just
remind the viewers here that this is something that you chose to do on your own. This isn't something
I enjoy it. It's fun.
I insisted that you do or something. Oh, I just want everyone to know that this is torture that you're putting yourself through, not something the dungeon master is torturing you with.
I learned new words that I'll never use again.
Why didn't you choose the super silly wordplay guy as your title?
I don't know.
It's far easier.
That's not as much fun as words that he can't pronounce.
So, Lafdul, do you run after windmills?
He only tilts at them.
Oh, okay. That's
I
good.
stand upside down on the ceiling, probably staring at them, contemplating the mysteries of why it rotates.
So we left the party. They had rescued some crew members of a ship out of Hedukal that had been attacked, and they were just getting back to Zivlin and the Moons, where Hedukal is, to return them to safety. So, you guys are on the chart with the moons, which I'm not moving because I don't actually know what the orbital period for any of them are. So, you know. It's fine. Yeah, you guys can start moving towards them. There's no real time on this, but if you wanted to take a brief stop at any of the other moons on the way, I know there was some talk about kind of surveying them. You know, that's up to you, or you can just make a beeline.
You seem like you were saying that was a bit tricky unless we buzz the atmosphere.
It's more that, I mean, you need to look at them. It's not a bad idea. It's just a question of what kinds of information are you going to get. Getting more information about all these places is nothing bad.
Well,
so
what Braxon was hoping to be able to do was spot anything that looks like an undocumented port.
Right, and what I kind of inferred is that if it's an undocumented port, it's probably gonna be secret. I mean, it's either like there's kind of two possibilities. Either it's something that most people don't care about, or it's something that's intentionally being kept secret. You'd likely only find one of those. So,
well, it sounds like something where we would probably have to hang around in the atmosphere for a while.
Not the atmosphere, just the orbit.
All right. It seems like something where we'd have to fly around for a while with telescopes, surveying.
Yes. But you can still pass by them and get a glance at the worlds if you want to get more like. There's still more information that you can get about the worlds just at a glance, too. Same thing with Zivlin itself.
Yeah. Yeah, there is Zivlin itself. I'm not sure pirates will be hiding out on that. Seems a bit crazy, but maybe they found somewhere stable. Let's just get these guys back, because they're more squishy than we are.
Okay.
We can maybe do that next time we come out. Unless someone's got one of these worlds they're interested in. One of these moons.
Not particularly, but I want to make sure these things are mentioned. You're checking your bag for currency, yes?
Yes.
And I didn't say this last week, but Lafdul would be asking Aravan if you could do a favour for him.
Yeah, at the moment is Braxon's
Be
trying to
praying for
convert.
that.
Braxon's trying to convert as much gold into platinum as possible.
So,
So we
as
can buy
a
things.
side note, this is a I mean, this is a continuation of the day from last session. So you've just gotten to the planet. You're in orbit, and it
Yeah.
literally takes minutes to get from moon to moon. It'll take 20
Yeah.
minutes to get down or up off of one of them, but it's literally like less than 5 minutes to get. It might take a little bit more if you have to swing past Zivlin to go across. But we're still talking, minutes, not hours to get around here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could swing past, but I don't know. I don't know if we would actually. If you're saying that secret landing sites will be disguised, I don't know that we'd have much chance of spotting something.
I mean, you still might find other natives, and natives who don't have spelljamming ports.
That's true.
Might still know something about a secret place.
That's true. They might have seen ships coming down.
So,
Yeah.
but part of this was in response to Lafdul asking, would that be part of your normal day's prayers?
Yeah, he's doing
Okay.
this all the time.
All right,
'cause
so
he,
this was
he has
previous.
a...
You're still asking for the restoration of your...
Yeah, he wants to know if you can... He knows what's wrong with him now, but he's just basically asking, can you do me a favor and remove this?
For the trip, you have not heard any specific
Yeah,
response. So.
and this is probably going to take me like a few adventures. But I have to keep mentioning that I keep doing it.
Okay, so do you want to just go straight to Hadukal, or do you want to at least swing by some of the worlds and take a look at them?
Let's just go to Hiduku.
Okay. Now the other question is, do you remember which of these is Hadukal?
The Hiduku coloured one.
You would never do that. We can just ask the first officer. So yeah, we know your planet's around here. Which one again?
The first officer will know, will he?
We
Not
can have,
that
We have a
first
navigator.
officer.
That's why we have a navigator.
Yeah.
we can just ask our navigator bird.
Well, he meant
Yeah,
the guy that you rescued from Hadukal.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you meant, right? By the
Yeah,
first
that's what
officer?
Lafdul meant.
Yeah.
Because I know he was the first officer. So.
Yeah. So are you guys asking him, or do you want to have Glau?
Do we
Figure it out.
want to look like we're half incompetent?
Let's ask the bird so we don't look as incompetent.
Let's ask the bird. You mean Glau? You mean our
Glau,
navigator?
yes. Let's ask Glau so we don't look as incompetent.
I thought it was this one. And then we land and die.
So Glau, which one's the Ducal?
Well, it
Does he
is
give-
always an interesting question on which one is actually Hadukal, as to whether Hadukal actually lives within the moon. I know there's some controversy. Oh, right, you mean which one is the one? He indicates that it is this one that is covered in greenery, and as you approach, you would recognize very quickly that it is that greenery is all in regular patterns of squares and such like that.
Yeah, because it's like a huge
Okay.
farming thing.
Yeah.
Braxon interrupts Glau and says, "Inside the moon? You mean it's hollow?"
So, that leads to a conversation so long that you guys end up in orbit for about 15 minutes before actually making a decision on how to get down there.
It's like all the officers and crew members staring at Bryce. It's like, come on.
Come on in.
Do we
Let's have
see any visible lakes or anything?
Glau is very, very vociferous. There is a lake. You've been down there.
I think we need 15 minutes of our role playing if we're going to be forced to stay in orbit. For 15
No, we're gonna take the shuttle down and drop these guys off.
Wow, mutiny.
Yeah, it seems like a mutiny here. This is the captain's decision.
Yeah. Well, we were taking the shuttle down, weren't we?
I mean, if that's up to you guys.
What we normally do.
You're the captain. You decide. You don't.
Well, there was no.
If we're going to
Docking
object,
cradle.
we'll say something.
There wasn't a docking cradle.
Yeah, you landed in the lake last time.
Yeah. So we're taking the shuttle anyway. Okay.
All right.
So we'll go down on the shuttle, and Braxon will still be talking about the interesting stuff that we spoke about for 15 minutes that the people on Twitch aren't allowed to know about.
So it's not that they're not allowed to. I don't think they'd be interested. I mean, so again, part of it is Braxon understood what was going on. That you're there and stuff like that. But every time he's like, that's really fascinating, Glau. But he'd just keep going on. Glau is very vociferous when you get him going. He and Sun Fayun have really hit it off. Let's just
That's good.
put it that way. So you are taking the shuttle down. Are all the party members going?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it takes you 20 minutes to get through the atmosphere. It's it feels like a nice warm spring day as you're getting down there. And let me actually see whether there is any rain.
What are the people we rescued aren't very fit, are they?
It's been pardon me, 10 days. So they've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I was just thinking we might want to see if the guy that runs their office has got a cart that we can borrow to take him home.
No, they're not that bad at this point. After 10 days, they've magical healing, good food. They're a lot better. I mean, obviously, it's going to take them time to really get back to 100%, and you strongly suspect that some of them are going to retire from sailing at this point.
This close to touch with death.
But
Yeah.
for the
there's
most
3 of
part,
them, isn't there?
there's 4 of them. There's the
4 of them.
3
Sorry,
crew
yeah.
members and the first officer.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're a lot better. They would have been able to do like half shifts on your ship if you had asked them to, which I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying that that's where they are health-wise now.
Daikami could have cast him failing endurance, a spell that he was raving on about. He loved that spell. Never cast it once, I don't think. Has he?
I don't know.
Braxon to say to Lafdul, do you think it's worth us asking them to stick around in town in case there's anything else you want to find out from them?
Sorry? Could you repeat it?
Well, you've used magic to look at their memories.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth us asking the people we've rescued to stick around town so that if you want to use any more spells on them, they're still available?
Not particularly. Well, it'd just be the first officer, if anything.
Yeah, well, he's going to want to go home and meet his wife.
Yeah, he's probably want to.
But you also
Again,
know how to get to his house.
Yeah.
And or you could always ask directions. And the other 3, you could probably find, like, over the past, week, it would have been reasonably clear that they're going to be retiring, So they'd be around if you wanted to come back and talk to them about something.
Yeah.
So you're landing, and it looks like there's been like a morning rain already, but it's clearing up. There's a gentle
Fresh and
breeze.
crisp.
I'm sorry.
It's like fresh and crisp in a dewy atmosphere.
Not quite that. It's just a little
Oh.
that post-rain humidity on a warm spring day, and it's not like early morning. It's late morning at this point, getting on to lunchtime.
We are still flying. We are still flying their flag.
Yeah. And so you land in the lake by the town of Villanot, and sail up, tie up to the dock, and you see the port overseer kind of coming out to obviously collect your fees, but before he gets to that, he spots the the four survivors, and he turns around to the people milling about, doing their daily labors at the dock and the lake shore and stuff like that, and he shouts out, "Survivors of the Emerald, get the mayor!" And you basically, over the next 15 minutes, you're just getting flooded with people, asking to find out what happened. People, completely shocked and surprised that you were able to rescue anyone at all. Basically, everyone had put them, had given them over for dead. There are those who knew some of the ones that you didn't rescue and are breaking down in cries, sadness that while some were rescued, others weren't, that sort of thing. But in general, it's a pretty celebratory atmosphere going on, because even 4 people surviving was more than anyone expected.
Yeah.
And they've clearly completely forgotten to collect your port docking fees.
I thought they might. We at least that offsets some of the cost of gemstone.
What, like 10 gold?
Yeah. I said some.
The mayor who you'd met earlier, Thos Dorville, comes up and he starts, clasping your hands, shaking them heartily, telling you about the job well done. He can't believe that anyone survived, that you even found them. People are trying to get in, bits of the story and stuff like that. But then he turns to the crowd and says, All right. They've been through enough. Let's let them get to their homes, and you can find out over tankards at the tavern what they went through. All right, come on, everyone, move on home." And he with some help of some of the other, clearly respected people in town, start, dispersing the crowd, and once enough of them are dispersed, he turns back to you guys and says, he indicates the 3 crew members. They live in town. Let's get them home, and then we'll get Master Finnel'ar home to his wife. So,
don't we want to pass by the Minotaur, the crew guy?
You will. I mean, he's already he's coming up at this point. He's now heard, and he's joining you, talking to the sailors and stuff like that.
Is he at all surprised?
He doesn't seem like the type of person that shows much surprise even when he's surprised. It also doesn't help that you're not familiar with Minotaurs, so you don't really know what a surprised Minotaur would look like. But he's a pretty no-nonsense person. Yep.
Interjection. Leva reminds everybody to not let anyone onto our ship because of our symbol.
Right.
No Minotaurs on the ship.
Had you actually put that on the shuttle?
No, but on the ship.
It's
Yeah,
on the battle.
You're just on the shuttle, though.
Itself.
Right, but you're just on the
Yes,
shuttle. The dolphin's up in orbit.
So just don't invite anyone up there,
Right.
or at least no Minotaurs.
So we're not going to hire our own Minosaurs.
See, Lafdul has this curious thought about transforming himself into a Minotaur. And it's like, I wonder if that would affect me.
You should totally try it.
Yes, I agree. Lafdul, you should try it.
Yeah, it's based on the appearance, its perceived appearance, I think you said. Doesn't matter where something is literally it.
Wouldn't it be worth it to find out?
No. Because Lafdul doesn't like being in that much pain.
Can Allevi cast Polymorph Other and turn him into a Minotaur?
Yeah, but they might die in the transformation.
Well, it's worth that as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Braxon thinks so highly of me.
So, you accompany the crew members back to their homes. Get you see them embrace their family members. Tears are being shed, that sort of thing. Family members coming out saying, "How can they ever thank you?" All that stuff. You guys can take it as well or not well as is appropriate for your characters. Some of you may feel quite embarrassed by this. It's quite possible that you have not had that kind of emotional outpouring from anyone before.
Well, yeah, we didn't get it on the last place, did we, where we rescued the people living with Braxon's sister.
These are just basically...
couldn't wait to get rid of us.
Yeah, they were pretty dour. They were pretty dour people. These people are fairly,
Braxon will shake any hands and offered, and will point at other people and say, "Oh well, there's plenty of people upstairs on our main ship, and he'll point out the rest of the party and say about all the good things they do."
You know, Braxon, you're going to catch something one day shaking everyone's hand. I can just see it happening. Just be careful.
There's nothing wrong with shaking hands.
Of course not.
And you spit in your hand before you make a contract as well.
Unless, of course, you're missing a ring after shaking hands with that short elf-like figure.
That's true.
So with the three crew members returned, and the mayor Thos and the chief trader Akoramus, they've kind of made a point to keep these as short as possible, like by saying, you'll have time with your loved one now. We need to get the others home, that sort of thing. And then you travel the hour outside of town to get to the Finnel'ar farm.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
And you do end up taking a cart out there, just because, it's an hour trip.
Yeah.
And you see Mistress Finnel'ar. She's speaking to one of the farm hands by the farmhouse, and
Braxton's going to blow his signal whistle and wave at her with two hands.
Okay. She was already, the cart is not quiet, and it puts up dust on the dusty roads. Although, I guess there wouldn't be dust because it was just a rain that morning. But it's still pretty obvious when carts are coming along these roads. She'd already seen the cart coming. When she sees her husband there, she just like, you're pretty sure that she stopped in mid conversation and she's just running towards the cart, and they have a long tear-filled embrace before she comes and says to you, when you came and said that you might be able to find him, I had hope, but I never could have dreamed that it would come true. How can I thank you for bringing him home? And to think that the lucky ring was in fact lucky. I don't know how to thank you. She's like tearfully hugging all of you, thanking you for the rescue of her husband. At this point, he seems a little bit embarrassed now. It's like all right, honey, I'm home now. It's but after
Braxon says it's a way of Patar to pass on thanks. I've been helped in the past, and so have the rest of us. Maybe one day you can help someone else.
Likewise, Mashaka's blessings on all of you. Thank you very much. And the two of them, arm in arm, they head back to the farmhouse. And you can see that the farmhands, they're all like kind of looking at you in shock and awe and surprise and stuff like that. They seem very impressed and surprised at his return as well.
Oh, Braxton smiles at them all. Says, I suppose we better get back.
Thos and Coramus, they say, well, that's certainly a good deed done today. Let's get back to town and have a conversation. I need to... They both, like, want to get a full rundown on what you learned and what you discovered.
My colleague Lafdul's discovered some stuff, but we should discuss it privately.
On the hour ride back, you can tell them what you want them to know. Is there anything? Are you telling them everything, or is there anything that you want to keep from them? And you guys could have discussed this in the 10 days it took to get back here. So.
Yeah. Does Lafdul not trust the Minotaur because he's a Minotaur?
That's my gut feeling, but I don't know. I mean,
well,
if they do tell them, then that just means they come to us at the end of the day.
Yeah,
pirates. So it works in our favor.
Well, we could say that we don't want to discuss anything till we get to the office, and then discuss it with him privately.
Oh no, I don't mind talking about it when we walk there.
Yeah, well, you've got the Minotaur here.
Yeah.
So, if you'd have said to Braxon, we shouldn't say anything to the Minotaur, he would say he wants to wait till we get to the office. Otherwise, we can discuss it on the way.
No, I'm fine with sharing it. I'm not that.
Okay.
I mean, it was my gut feeling, but no, I'm not.
Well, hang on. You'd have perhaps discussed this with Ockar? Your gut feeling? Yes, no?
No, this is just something you've just mentioned to me, and I've just responded in kind.
Okay.
I mean, you've had 10 days to talk about how you want to, what kind of information you want to share, what information you don't want to share. I have no problem with you guys having the conversation right now about what you would have talked about before coming here, and then deciding what you want to
basically
share.
If Lafdul is suspicious at all about the Minotaur, Ockar could sit in the wagon and see if he's evil.
Yeah. Lafdul's suspicious of anyone. Maybe he's a bit prejudiced as well, so that doesn't help. Maybe you shouldn't always believe what Lafdul.
All right, so
Yes.
let's get back to the original question. Is there anything that you're keeping from them?
No.
You can tell them everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's practices otherwise.
how about?
Well, I mean,
how about?
hold on. I mean, anyone in the party can speak up and say, "I don't think we should tell them X." Like it's a party decision, not Lafdul's decision or Braxon's decision.
There's thousands of millions of monitors, I assume. So
James, Ockar,
But
how about we've pre-arranged that you will check out the Minotaur and see if you think he's trustworthy. And you can decide whether we talk in front of the Minotaur or not.
Okay. Do you want me to use Detect Evil Intent in that one spell I have?
What's the spell?
It's a Divination Spell, the one where I draw the coins up and down.
I don't know about your
You
individual
mean
abilities.
your analyze balance?
Yeah, I could use Analyze Balance on him.
If you think it be useful.
That's
Well-
pretty apparent.
Well, he'll see me doing it, but it allows me to sense basically how far they are from being true neutral. It doesn't give me an idea of the direction, but it with that along with Detect Evil Intent, it would give me some idea.
Unless you've got a reason to accuse someone, so to speak. I don't think this is a strong enough reason to think that we have enough of a hedge to say he might be evil. He's just a guy that just happens to be part of Kryn space, which
he could use
pretty
his power
common
first, couldn't he? He'd use his power first.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like we're being a bit overbearing. That's all.
I mean, again, sure. You've got you're going to be riding in a cart. The mayor Thosdorville is the one who's actually driving the cart, just because it's like you kind of recognize that he's the type who just does that kind of thing. He's not not the type that expects other people to wait on him because of his position.
Yeah. So, Ockar, how's this spell work? Is it noticeable? Do you have to say words with a spell?
I don't have to say. Well, I have to start out with saying a few words, but the main part of it is that as I'm concentrating on the spell, I have to toss the coins in my hand.
Yeah.
So
that could be a hobby. So they're iron coins.
You could toss coins for an hour.
Well, it only lasts a few rounds.
Yeah, I know, but if you was tossing the coins for longer than the spell.
True.
To make it look like that's just your a thing you do.
I could do that. And a thing it does is that there's a chance that I can determine the direction of the change of his alignment. But
that would only be like 5% for you being.
Well,
that's fine.
No. It's based on priest level, so that would actually be
your first level of being able to cast spells. at 9th level.
Your caster level.
A level 1 priest.
Your caster level is 1.
Okay, so it'd be a 5% chance, but otherwise I could still tell the degree, even if I don't know the direction, if that fails.
Right. So this might let you know if this guy's a spy.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a very slim chance of me determining the direction of the variation, but I can still tell there is a variation, and how great the variation is.
Well, if doing those things can confirm if this guy's a spy, it might be worth doing.
Lafdul would try to glean as much information as he can about Minotaur society and what's it like on Kryn or wherever he's from, just in general.
He's a native from this world. He's a native of this world.
Does he know where?
He's aware that there's an empire of Minotaurs on Kryn, and that there's another group that are primarily sailors, but he doesn't know much beyond that. He's lived all his life here.
Is your father or mother
No,
adventurers or something?
His family, is, as far back as he knows, has lived here, but they also this is a more of an oral history
Generational.
society, so you'd guess that he can only be for sure back like great grandparent kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, do you want to cast a spell, Ockar? I mean, other people can try to distract the two of them, and you can also use your.
That's what Lafdul was doing. while he
Yeah,
was having conversations.
I'm gonna use the spell.
Okay. So, do they get a saving throw?
No.
Okay. So you automatically know how many steps away from true neutral they are, and then there's a 5% chance of knowing whether it's towards law or chaos or good or evil. Kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you
randomly
learn that he's
chosen
one
access.
step away. You do not learn the direction.
Okay.
Probably just lawful neutral. It's
So yeah, I mean,
pretty
it could be neutral. That
standard.
could be neutral good, lawful neutral, chaotic neutral, neutral evil.
Okay. I guess I'll whisper that to whoever's sitting next to me.
Well, yeah. Well,
Such subterfuge, Ockar.
the only thing.
Well, I mean,
the
you
only
could
thing
you
we
could
really-
you could agree
Yeah.
beforehand that you just like hold up a number of fingers, like
Yeah.
up against your cheek, kind of thing, as if you're rubbing it.
Then yeah, I'll do that.
Lafdul's cringing at every moment. Ockar's trying to be stealthy.
Well, we're mainly waiting for the okay from Ockar to discuss things. So, is that enough for you for us to discuss things? One away. I mean, you can detect if he's evil
Well,
or having evil thoughts as
And
well.
you've
Yeah.
not detected any evil intent from him.
I have not detected any evil intent, and I can tell one step away. So there's a chance he's lawful neutral, or neutral good, or chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
It'd be. So there's always a chance for neutral evil, but I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it
Poor
sounds like we
guy.
don't have any reason to conceal things from him. No, it's
Yeah.
good. It means we've eliminated him as a possible leak.
Not necessarily. We just got some. We haven't got proof.
I'd be more concerned if Ald said 2 steps away.
You're more reassured. You're more reassured at this point.
Yeah,
if he
I'm
was
more
2 steps
reassured.
away, he could be a paladin.
I don't think Minotaurs can be paladins in Dragonlance.
You saying that aloud?
No, he's not saying that a lot.
Yeah.
No,
No.
because
No.
I don't know that in character.
No, neither does Braxon.
So when Ockar says that he's a paladin, do they instantly refer to like the dwarven paladins on Kryn? Has
I don't
anyone
know.
even
I don't
mentioned
know
that?
that anyone has mentioned paladins.
Well, no, Ockar says that he's a paladin. I assume.
I wouldn't assume that. I mean, like
I haven't mentioned that I'm a paladin.
to them.
To them, at least.
I mean, not to the party members, but to these two. One of these two.
These two, I haven't mentioned I'm a paladin.
No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, because
I
like
know.
just because you're a paladin doesn't mean you have to go around saying, "Hey, I'm a paladin. Hey, I'm a paladin. By the way, I'm a paladin." I mean,
Yeah, doubt. You mean if I was a powerful wizard, and licks at leather.
yeah, but you could also make the point, quote unquote, that you're a powerful wizard with just cantrips. So,
Yeah.
Powerful compared to commoners.
So, Ockar gives you guys the signal that he hasn't detected any evil intent, and the Minotaur is only one step away from true neutrality. And the decision was that if in such a case, then you're okay telling him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless Dever or Finn have any concerns. that they haven't mentioned.
None here.
Leva?
During the trip,
Yeah.
during the
Hold on, Leva, do you have any objections?
Nope.
Okay.
No objections.
All right, Lafdul, you were saying?
would the first officer have like explained his whole like ordeal, what he does, just talking about himself, I guess, in general conversation.
There would have been discussion about what the group went through, stuff like that. Not as much focus on like what he remembered prior. It was pretty focused on
No, I mean in
trying to
general,
survive.
who is he as a person? I mean, what his like.
No, he wouldn't have been talking
Basically,
about that.
I'm wondering if he would ever talked about his home place, this place where we are now.
Oh, you mean on the trip back from rescuing him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. What are you wondering about? Like,
If he would have, I'm just wondering if I noticed any peculiar things of interest that he might have mentioned about.
Oh, you mean like your
Being
thing
here,
for learning
yeah, no.
customs?
I'm trying to figure out what information you're hoping to have learned from him.
If he noticed anything abnormal, I guess. Anyone new in town, or
No, he didn't. He didn't talk about that. He was the first officer on the trip, and his wife. You would have learned that his wife is actually the owner of this farm.
Right.
And she runs it. It's her farm. Obviously, it's going to both of their kids and stuff like that. And he does have one kid. But he'd always been, as a young man, he'd always wanted to be a sailor, so he signed up the first opportunity he got. He was more than competent. He was quite skilled and good leader of people. So he fairly quickly got promoted to a first officer, and then, disaster struck, and he has basically decided, the lucky ring saved me. I've had this life. Now it's time to actually settle down and stay with my wife and kid, and maybe have more kids, and not push my luck.
Yeah.
I suppose that brush definitely did on most people.
Well, as long as he leaves the ring, he'll be all right.
Now, I mean, you would have learned some things about life on Hadoukel, and with that in mind, you would realize that some of those that you had assumed were farmhands are actually guards.
Oh, right.
Being an agrarian world, pirates are not exactly unknown to just sweep down and attack farms when they need food and water and stuff like that. So they do keep.
Can't imagine a
do
couple
keep
of guards
guards
going to do too much.
So.
But then again, what can you afford?
Yeah, but the thing is that, you'll generally see the ships coming. The guards will, be the defensive screen, while the actual farmhands and the whoever owns it gets into a cellar structure, and then they'll close the door afterwards. And you'd also have learned that those cellar
You're just
structures
asking.
are also where they store the food, because these people aren't going to go in and like reap wheat from the fields and stuff like that.
Pirates don't just smoke them out if they go into a cellar.
They might
seems a
sometimes.
bit-
They might sometimes, but and you didn't learn
pretty
exactly
evil,
how
but-
it works, but there would be alerts sent out to other neighboring farms and any neighboring towns and villages to summon
They would
up.
have to be quick.
Yeah, but I mean, certainly if there was a ship in port.
No, I mean the pirates.
Right, yeah.
In and out.
The pirates would have to be quick, which is why, if once they get, if the farmhands and everything are quick to get into the cellar and they get it locked and everything like that, the pirates aren't going to sit around essentially besieging them. You know, the idea is to get there faster than the people, the farmers can get in there and stuff like that. Also, they have to suffer things like Neogi attacks and Illithid attacks on occasions. You know, out for slaves and stuff like that. But you'd also learn that there's a pretty big market for gift warriors to help defend farms as well.
Had there been any recent attacks? Just out of curiosity.
Well, he wouldn't have known because he'd
No,
been
I
away
mean
for a while.
the mayor.
If you're asking the mayor, on his section, so there are
provinces.
kind of it's not so organized as to be like nations or provinces or something like that, but it's more of you know, what town do you go to sell stuff? There are 3 villages that have port facilities. You're at Villanot, which is the only one that has a lake. Nar and Grornar only have fields for landing, so they take, you know, a lot of dragonflies and vessels that can land on land. And basically they're positioned roughly equidistant from each other. And so all the surrounding communities and farms, you know, kind of a spoken hub type situation where they just go to the nearest village for selling their stuff and hiring guards when they need them and stuff like that. So he's not familiar with all the goings on specifically at their places. They don't keep like close track of all the individual pirate attacks on the various farms.
What's the word on the street, so to speak?
He hasn't heard of any immediate pirate attacks recently. But he doesn't know about the other 2 towns, whether they've had any. It's a common enough occurrence that also isn't as successful as the pirates would like to make, you know, news every single time one of them happens. What makes news is when the pirates are successful, or when the pirates kill everyone, or when it's like a Neogi or a Illithid attack that takes everyone as slaves. Those are the ones that make news. If the pirates just they get in there and they take some of the food because that's what they needed, and then they're off, and there's no injuries and stuff like that, it's just, you know, price of doing business, that kind of thing. You know, people, it doesn't make news, so to speak. And the pirates also, most of the pirates know that if they do come in and slaughter everyone to get their food, then the other farms are oftentimes going to beef up their protection. And some of these would be supplied by the village, you know, and people would pool their money together to hire more mercenaries and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, but I suppose we've got pirates that are nicer than other pirates.
Well, and also, I mean, just, you know, if you can...
Oh, speaking of...
Even the main ones, oftentimes if they can, you know, do something without bloodshed, then they'll do so. So,
those...
yes, Lafdul.
Those pirates of the Singing Sword, was it Singing Sword?
Something like that. I'd have to go look it up.
Are we going to report them in? Where we last saw them? I mean, they might have moved, but it's still going to help them. The on that orange
we can
cloud world.
I don't know that Hidako has access to people that can chase after.
No.
Oh,
what
there
are we
was
going to
a
be doing now?
representative.
Oh, you mean go back to the elves?
Yeah.
It'd give us a chance to go back to the elves, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's really only, you know, I mean, it would take you an hour to leave here, get over there, dock up again. So.
Yeah, well, just passing on information, they'd appreciate it regardless.
Oh, wasn't there a representative on Hidako?
of the elves?
Of the elves, yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, there might be. I don't think you intentionally went looking. There was a
Right.
Syndiath line office on Gillian, the
Yeah.
Elven world.
So we could pop into there.
Yeah.
The other question is there one? Yeah, if we did a flyby of some of the moons
We're in
and
the
then
area,
landed
so-
there, we could let them know. But they might also have an office on Rielks. But we could let them know in their office there. Then they can't say we didn't let them know.
Yeah, they might have.
It's a good point.
I don't know. Can an octopus land on land? Do you know? An octopus ship. Does
Oh.
Braxon know?
Let me think.
You want to roll
Has-
a...
Yeah, because
Ship
Braxon
carpentry
may or
check?
may not have.
I mean, it's 100-ton ships. I don't know how many 100-ton ships even land.
It's not a 100-ton ship.
No?
I mean, you've
Oh.
seen at least one octopus in your life, I think.
Yeah,
You know, you probably haven't worked on one. You certainly haven't helped build one. How's
I
that?
think Braxon would have worked on smaller ships, to be honest. He'd have worked on the more common ships. Right, so I've got to beat 16.
Okay. Yeah. So, going back to your memories, you think it over and like, yeah, no, it's got to be a landing vessel. It's not a water landing vessel, and it's not one that can't land.
Yeah, so that means they likely land somewhere that's got a landed port. Yeah, no, it's something to bear in mind when we go looking for these hidden ports, whether or not they're in land or have access to water.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
So
we head back, I
you're
guess.
sharing all the information that you know with Coramus and Thos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone objecting? Who?
All right. So they ask you a few questions, but just to get clarification and stuff like that. Do you have any questions for them based on what you learned? Like, it's like, all right. So we learned this. What can you tell us about XYZ? Does anything like that spring to mind?
The details. The first officer. When the first officer was obviously charmed, how unusual was that?
Well, that would have been extremely unusual so far as they know. I mean, that they're unaware of that ever happening before. But that's not exactly a big surprise in and of itself. Like,
Yeah.
most people don't really realize that they've been charmed.
No, but
it would usually need to be broken for them
it's
to realize
like
that it happened.
a new tactics pirates have been trying in general. They've been charming people, so you want to be careful. I'm just wondering if that kind of.
I mean, yeah, they're
It's not like
they're gonna
groundbreaking
be
news.
they're gonna be
It's hard, but
talking about what they can do to address that, but they don't have any like that. That's a conversation that they're gonna have to have, as opposed to, oh yeah, now that we know this, we're gonna be doing the X, Y, and Z kind of thing.
Tinfoil hats. No. Braxon turns to Lafdul. Do you think you'd be able to tell if anyone else has had anyone trying to read their thoughts easily?
oh, you mean what I just did? No, because the recipient's aware of it. Unless you mean simple surface faults, not
I
memories.
mean, what was tried on that first officer?
What, where he was charmed?
Yeah.
If they're currently under the effects of it, then my magic would. I have spells that would detect that, but I did not think to cast.
No, I'm just thinking if we could tell if they've looked at other people in the past. I've got a feeling that they're not actually operating on Hidakal itself.
No.
Just a hunch.
No, I don't really have anything.
So you guys don't have any other questions for Thalassocoromus? Okay.
I had my audio cut out for 2 minutes all. So I don't know what you said, but
Well,
I don't think Braxon have any more questions. I don't want you to say it all again.
I mean, there hadn't been any questions for him yet, so
Yeah.
if there's... My point was, after giving them this information, after the things that you've learned, does that raise any questions that you would then want to ask these two?
I might casually mention about the flying creature if they recognize what it is. The insects. It's not an insect, it had insect's wings. Chitinous, I'll try and describe it. Wasn't it like a wyvern? I can't remember.
I did not say wyvern. If
yeah. Add insectoid wings or whatever.
No, that is wholly strange to them. They do not know any. They have no idea what that might be.
I've got an idea. The ships that were all attacked. I don't suppose we'll have the logs of the ships.
Oh, they were.
But
giants.
Yeah.
Do we know where any giant ports are? Where giants might be hired on as crew, I guess.
They will tell you that there are a lot of giants on the world of Kislev. They're generally not terribly sophisticated giants. Like they don't have a high culture or anything like that. They know that there are some, some of them are primitive brutes, and others are primitive but somewhat friendly. Like they can be befriended, they can be traded with, and stuff like that. And they've heard rumors that one group of them has recently become more open to that sort of thing. But they don't really know like hard details because again, it's not on their trade routes, it's not in their wheelhouse. This is just the kind of things that they're picking up. From conversations with visitors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What you know about Kislev is that it is a world completely covered in like jungle and swamp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are tons and tons and tons of rare plants that go for high values. So
does Finn like us? Oh, yeah, he's got no interest in money, but the plants is like.
Do these giants know how to cook? Like stew?
Yeah, human stew.
They kind of like look at you kind of strangely and like, I would assume so.
So
let's go there. Lewa says she needs some ingredients.
Lafdul gives Leva the squinty eyes. Is like, what kind of ingredients are we talking about? The humanoid kind?
The giant kind.
Oh.
So we know.
In so many ways. Yes, Braxon.
We know that the spy from Anselon was at Hardhammer Pass. Can the mayor check their records and see if the ships that have been attacked have all been to Hardhammer Pass?
They would tell you that Hardhammer Pass is the largest of the ports there. So yes, they all have, but they've also been to. Let me see if I made names for the other ones. Hold on a second. Helps if I scroll in the right direction too. So there are 3 other ports as well.
Hmm.
There's the Steelfire Caldera, which is a Tinker Gnome port, and they'll say that they go there, but it's only when they can't help it, kind of thing. It's like maybe not quite that. It's more of a thing of
Do we have to?
it's their last stop, and if they've already filled up on what if they've already done as much as they can with the
Right.
other ports, then they're like, "Whew, good, we don't have to go there." And it's
Yeah.
not so much because they have tons of good stuff, but it's also not so much their stuff that they're interested here on Hadougal.
Yeah.
So
So they'd mostly be picking up money from there and goods from Hardhammer Pass and the other port.
well, they basically all have the same basic set of goods. It's the additional stuff that they don't have. Like if you need metal and you just ingots and tools and stuff, basic tools and stuff like that, you can absolutely get them from Steelfire Caldera. It's just that the Tinker Gnomes there will also be trying to push their Who's It Bangs things that make bread and milk the cows in the morning. So,
Who fed the giant space hamsters today?
The other 2 ports, there's the Iron Sand Mesa and Forge Flu Flats. And
Forge
Flu Flats. And the Iron Sand Mesa.
Oh, right. So that's 4 in total.
Yeah.
The Iron Man
Iron Sand.
Sand, sorry.
That's okay.
Mesa.
So those 2, I mean, there's Tinker Gnomes everywhere, but none of those other 3 are Tinker Gnome ports. They're dwarf and gnome ports, and when you note the distinction between gnome and Tinker Gnome.
Yeah.
They like, it's clear that when they say that, they're talking about different groups.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Braxon knows Tinker Gnomes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about weird groundling gnomes and proper gnomes. Space gnomes.
So, they, like, their ships have been to all the ports.
Right.
Hardhammer Pass is there is there are 3 kings on Reorx. There's a dwarf king, there's a gnome king, and then there's a Tinker Gnome king.
Right.
Steelfire Caldera is the seat of the Tinker Gnome king. Hardhammer Pass is the seat of the dwarf king, and the gnomish king, he'd actually be like a non-port city near Iron Sand Mesa.
Right.
So, like, that's just to give you kind of a feel for how the ports interact with the political structure there.
Yeah.
But, like, they wouldn't be able to tell you, oh, yeah, all of our ships have only been to X port, kind of thing. Like, they go to all of them. And it's mixed, and some of it is up to the individual captain when they get there. It's as long as they get a good price for what they're selling, and they bring back the stuff that they need here on Hadougal, they can go wherever they want, basically.
Yeah. Do they have people they check in with at the ports that work for Hadougal?
No.
Right. So our problem with the missing ship is that the information is lost with the ship.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, there are there are brokers, merchant brokers, and stuff like that they'll deal with when they need, you know, that handle. Oh yeah, you need this. Go over and talk to them. Oh, you need that. Yeah, go over and talk to that kind of thing. You know, or you know, if locals are, you know, they'll go to them and say, hey, we've got, you know, all of this good. Who has been asking for it? Oh yeah. You want to go talk to you know, that one over there, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we know we've got one spy.
They might have information that you're looking for, but there isn't like a local branch office of the shipping concern for Hadoop.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we know for sure that there was a spy at that place. We don't know if there was a spy at any of the other places, so we're probably best off looking there. Anyone got any other ideas for leads? Ockar.
He said,
"Oh no, he's be right back."
So.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there's any local groups he could hook up with.
Well, I mean, there is a POTS representative here on Hadoukal. If you ask them about the company, the Chalice, they will tell you that the best place to meet members of the company of the Chalice are Reorcs, because dwarves tend to be, you know, more towards the lawful and good. I mean, they don't use quite those words, but that's, you know, what you'd realize.
Yeah. You come back just in time. I was just wondering if there was anyone that Ockar could hook up with to see if you could get additional information.
You'd probably want to talk to the POTS representative. They keep track of organizations.
Well, if we've told this guy that their pirates are using Minotaurs, and they've got a Minotaur working here, we could maybe ask that Minotaur if he's got any suggestions for tactics we might want to use.
He would
Has
tell
he got any
you.
skill with fighting?
He's not. I mean, being a Minotaur, he's pretty good, but he's not a warrior himself. He's a merchant. His recommendation is just, you know, the kind of simple thing of don't get hit by their heavy axes and weapons and stuff. Minotaurs tend to be stronger. They do tend to be a bit taller, so, you know, that might benefit some short people, but he notices that you don't have any with you.
Oh, that's good. Braxon's quite pleased that the Minotaur doesn't think he's short.
Well, you're not a dwarf, is what he would be getting at.
I know. Braxon stands a little bit taller.
All right. Any other questions that you have? Or anyone else has? All right. So you get back to the town itself. The Mayor Thos and Coramus the Trader, they will take you actually to Coramus's office, and once you're there, Coramus will say, "Now, you didn't ask for it, but saving our crew members, going out of your way for that, absolutely deserves some sort of reward." And he speaks to one of his subordinates to get you 750 steel pieces as a reward.
Oh. Braxon thanks him.
In addition, Thos and Coramus will tell you that they will also be increasing the bounty for capturing Red Njord from 3,000 steel to 4,000 steel.
Right, that was 750 iron pieces, was it?
Steel pieces.
Still,
Sorry.
it's been emptied.
Oh, okay. I'm too slow.
So yeah, They hand you a nice large pouch filled with coins.
Yeah, Braxon thanks him and says, "Yeah, we didn't realize we'd have to get these special coins."
Cormus chuckles about that. Sometimes you Outworlders don't realize that, put a little stock in the shiny gold here.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping this will go a long way towards us finding these troublesome pirates and getting rid of them.
So they thank you again and see you out of the office.
Yeah. Braxon thanks them back and says, "We couldn't have done it without you. Those 4 men would have been dead if it wasn't for your cooperation."
They would have been dead without your vessel and that magic device that you mentioned.
It was most fortunate that we met.
The reward is well deserved on your part.
Has he got rid of those contracts? I'm just making sure.
I'm sorry?
You made us sign contracts, didn't he?
Oh,
No, the
yeah,
contract was for the return of the ring.
Yeah. So you did that already.
Sure
so
he's getting rid of them.
yeah, you fulfilled that. And he would have a subordinate witness the signing that it has been returned.
Braxton wouldn't care if they don't get rid of the contract because everyone saw us bring the man back.
That's not what I was thinking, but yeah.
Okay. Well, even if the ring was used up and we brought the man
Just
back,
as we have a device of tracking people by having an object, who's to say that someone can't track us by our handwriting? The owner of the signature.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, do you want to ask him?
No, it's just a random thought. Who knows?
I mean, you had to sign a second sheet. I mean, like, you had to sign this a second time, indicating that you did fulfill your and return your thing. So it's not like this got torn up.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll have to keep it in their ledger for their accounts.
He does indeed.
Yeah.
You see it go into what amounts to a filing cabinet.
Okay. Who wants to go visit the pots? Does Lever want to visit the pots?
Any anti-slave,
You blankly
isn't he?
and says what?
The pragmatic order of thought.
Oh, yes, sure. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone not going? Let's put it that way.
Lafdul would not be.
Okay.
I'd be staying at a shuttle, I guess.
No? Okay. Well, Braxton will walk beside Levy and say, "Well, I'm sorry to see Egamus go, but the one upside is we won't get moaned at if we want to do deals with these guys anymore."
How would you know? Maybe Ockar will come now, or one of the others.
You can't complain about anti-slavery operations, even if they do occasionally go wrong.
That's true. Lera fully agrees with that statement.
Yeah, we should have probably got a letter of recommendation from the pragmatic order of thought on Brow, but never mind.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
we should
think you
get
knew
one,
that there was a POTS representative here. I mean, it stands to reason because they tend to be most places that are civilized, but they may not have even been able to tell you because they kind of have a cell-like structure in how they operate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. Braxon, we should just get one when we get back to Brawl or somewhere. This guy should just give us a letter of recommendation, and then we present it if needed.
Maybe.
Now, again, one problem with that is that who's to say that your letter of recommendation isn't just you guys writing down that some made-up name recommends, says that you've done good work and recommends, it's a letter of introduction kind of thing.
I think
Leva
she
looks
means
at
from
you
the mayor.
astonished and says, "We would never do anything like that."
I think she means the letter from the mayor.
Well, that would do too. Yes.
I mean, you're now like,
I think we'll be semi-famous for a little bit.
yes. You're gonna, if you go to this the POTS representative here, you're gonna be. They'll know who you are.
Yeah.
So would you have asked this of the mayor or the chief trader on the way out before leaving, like where they are and who they are?
Yeah, we'd have asked where to go.
Okay.
And who we're meeting.
Okay. So you will be meeting a minotaur by the name of Nolva Dov. She is a warrior, and in addition to being the local member of the POTS, she is also kind of the de facto broker for the farmers hiring mercenaries around here. Because she has the inn with a lot of the adventuring companies and mercenary companies and stuff like that. It just tends to be the facilitator for all that.
Yeah.
So they direct you to her quote-unquote office. It's really just her home. But
yeah.
Everyone calls it her office. So you make your way over to her place, knock on the door, and you are greeted by a 7-foot-tall minotaur who is clearly quite strong. Like,
yeah,
you would say that she could give Higamus a run for his money in a arm wrestling match. She looks you over and then smiles and says, "Ah, you must be the heroes who returned the survivors. Yes, I've heard your description. Come on in."
Thank you. Braxon says, "I'm Braxon Miacc. This is Levalithana." And introduces everyone else.
Levalithana.
Levalithana. Still can't get your name right.
It's okay. We only know each other for 2 days. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely haven't known each
Ockar.
other for almost 5 years.
Oh well, it seems like longer because you keep aging me. This is Ockar, and this is Finn. One of our colleagues isn't here. We're from the Company of the Broken Sword. We're here hunting for pirates. And
yes, I had heard that. Word travels fast in a small village like this. I think Solas is back on the ship.
Yeah, I think Solas is back on the ship as well. I'm getting shade cast at me by Lafdul, who's hiding.
Yeah, who didn't even come along. Jeez.
Yeah, he snubbed the pragmatic order of thought.
So, you're interested in pirates?
Yeah. Ockar.
Did you really come with us?
Yeah, I think he came with us.
Who did?
Ockar, you came with us, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Right. It's your pirate hunt. Do you want to discuss with this nice lady what we need?
Yeah. I guess I'll bring up the whole Red and Njord thing and ask about that. Sorry, I just stepped away for a bit, so I don't exactly know what we're doing.
You guys are meeting the local representative of the Pragmatic Order of Thought.
Okay, then I'll just bring up that we're hunting after Red and Njord and wanted to figure out what information they had.
Well, not a great deal of information. He's relatively new, not as established as the Singing Sword or the Strike, but he's certainly made a splash, shall we say. I understand that the sailors you rescued were attacked by his vessel. So you may know more about him than I do. She quickly summarizes what she does know, and let me see if that's anything going to be new. Give me just a second. And let me make a check for her. Okay. She is heard through the grapevine, so to speak. She's got some sources, but they're not, they're sources that are not always reliable, both in terms of the information that they, she doesn't fully trust them, but they're also not the most knowledgeable. So, you take the stuff with a grain of salt. But she does know that Njord is from out of the sphere, and he has with him three other people, three other humans from out of the sphere as well, that are his. She doesn't know exactly what their ranking is, but the impression that she's gotten is that they are the others in charge. So, possibly first officer, second officer, that kind of thing. So that does match up with, what you remember from Njord and his friends leaving Ockar. So it's a reasonable conclusion that they're still with him.
Okay.
From this information. In addition, let's see. So one thing that she does know is that sometime back, there was a Minotaur that she was somewhat familiar with, a Minotaur named Zar, who, it was assumed, he was fairly well known for his prowess in battle. What she was aware of, but didn't seem to be that well known, was that he was a true mercenary. No loyalty whatsoever except to the coin. And she does know for sure that he was on a ship that Red Njord attacked. There were no survivors, so most people are believed to, believe that everyone was killed. But she has heard that he has been spotted alive. She suspects he switched sides when Red Njord attacked, but she doesn't know that for sure. But he is a bruiser. Like, he was well known as the type who even other Minotaurs would give a wide berth to, because if you even other Minotaurs, if they ended up in a fight with him, there was a pretty good chance that he'd crush their skulls, kind of thing, in the fight. So, like, the Minotaurs consider him strong by Minotaur standards. Other than that, she doesn't really have any concrete information that you don't already know.
Okay. No idea of where he tends to be or anything?
No, she has not had any luck in locating any of the clandestine ports. She has her suspicions, and she'll share that with you momentarily. But the big thing is that she doesn't have a force to go after them, and the pirates have been really good at keeping their locations secret. She suspects primarily that the pirate ports are in a place that is generally considered uninhabited or uninhabitable. So you're looking at Nesmith, the moons of Kryn, some of the moons here around Zivlin, maybe some of the rocks in Zivlin. There are known to be inhabited rocks in Zivlin itself, but for the most part, there's this one giant continent floating through Zivlin itself called Landwrecker that is known to smash apart these other smaller rocks. So it's kind of like, if you're living anywhere other than that, it's most people consider that a death sentence. And Landwrecker itself is essentially an Arctic continent. So,
Okay.
but at the same time, just because it is known to destroy rocks doesn't mean that the other, floating rocks in Zivlin can go, hundreds of years without ever coming into contact. So,
Okay. Well, we're hoping to, if we can't find their base, we're hoping to at least try to lure them out by kind of flying the flag of a merchant ship, try to make them think that we're a slightly easier target.
lacking any better plan, I can definitely agree that is a worthy course of action. We've done that sort of thing in the past with some luck. Don't have any capability at this time. If you're looking to hook up with some others who might be able to help you, she starts, mentioning some other groups that might help. You can. She does mention that some contacts on Reorx to meet up with the Company of the Chalice. She also mentions that there are two groups that are essentially adventuring bands or similar in Kryn space right now that she's aware of that might be willing to throw in with you if you convince them, if you talk to them and met them. One is the Star Knights. They are a group of primarily Solamnic knights from Kryn, and they have a dragonfly. And then there's a hammer ship by the name of Octave Arcane, which is a group
Can you
looking...
spell that one out?
Yeah, sure. It's a group looking for the Spelljammer, but they're adventurers first and foremost. So, if you want some help, they might be willing to. They've been known to go around doing good deeds and stuff like that while trying to gather information about the Spelljammer itself.
Okay. And
So the Company Chalice don't have ships; they're just land-bound, are they?
They may, but they're also much more likely to be involved in stuff already. She'll tell you.
Yeah.
does she know where we can find the Star Knights or the Octave Arcane?
So the Company of the Chalice is going to be a good contact for the Star Knights. The Octave Arcane, any of the major ports, you might be able to encounter them in. Again, Reorx is kind of the hub of spelljamming traffic in this sphere, so she'd recommend that, check there first, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There may be someone there who knows. The Octave Arcane has been on Hadoukel once, a few years back, so that's one of the reasons that she's familiar. But it's an agrarian farming world. There's not much call for adventure here.
Braxon, if you don't mind, I think our next course of action should be to go to Reorx to talk to Company of the Chalice and see if we can find these adventuring groups.
That sounds good.
So
I feel like with
real
them and their ships, we might have a better chance to track down the Red Njord.
real fast. The Star Knights, in addition to just kind of going around doing nightly things, they also act as primarily as carrying people between the moons of Zivlin and Riorx and the planets in between. Occasionally they'll get out to the Stellar Islands, but not that often. But they have a small ship. They don't carry a whole lot of cargo. They are considered quite powerful for their size, because they are knights. But the main thing that they do to pay for their upkeep and food and water and everything like that is carrying passengers between the planets. So they're pretty regular visitors at various worlds.
That's a good way to pay their way, be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Until they're needed.
But they also do a bit of monster hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if there's a known school of scavers that's causing big problems, they'll like intentionally go out and hunt them and stuff like that.
Yeah. While we're here, although this is our main target, this pirate ship, we might bump into other bad doers. Are there any slaving ships around that the Pragmatic Order thought after dealing with?
They don't know of any specific ones. There are rumors that the Chainmen are hereabouts with a couple ships. She believes they're smaller ships on the order of tradesmen or similar-sized vessels, maybe galleons at the largest. But the biggest danger is Illithids and Neogi.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that they are, that they work the hardest against. The Company of the Chalice, she will tell you that one of the reasons why they don't have, ships of their own in large numbers right now, is because so much of their effort is focused on what they believe to be a Neogi infestation, as they would. I mean, not a Neogi, an Illithid infestation, as they would call it on Riorx.
Oh.
So they believe that there are hidden Illithid ports on Riorx that is kind of a base of operation for slaving and stuff like that in the sphere. She doesn't know anything about the Neogi other than the fact that they are around and they have ships. She doesn't know if they're just transients or if they have a hidden port somewhere. She hasn't been able to get any information about that, but they are... those two are the biggest dangers for Hadukul, for the farmers of Hadukul, even more so than pirate attacks.
Interesting that the Illithids are on Riox. Was that in the guidebook?
No, that information is not in that.
That is fascinating.
Weren't you supposed to be keeping that information, like updating it, so to speak?
So again, this is all pure rumor and speculation.
Yeah. So this is something we're just hearing.
But it's also pure rumor and speculation. There is absolutely no confirmation of any of that.
Okay. Right. Well, if we get this business with Red Njord dealt with, and we have got confirmation on that, that might be something we want to investigate while we're here.
Yeah. Right now, I just want to go to Riorc and talk to the Company of the Chalice, but if there's anything else you guys want to do beforehand, we can.
Well, my only thought was to do a scan of the moons and see if we could find anything. But
So you
How many
could
moons are there?
12. If
There's
you want
12
to do,
moons.
if you want to do, essentially a full survey, that would be 1 day per moon. If you want to just like touch on each one, get a feel for what's down there, you could do all that in 1 day.
So it's whether we do that or whether we get on to Reox and do that afterwards.
I mean, 1 day, like just touching on them real fast. It's just 1 day, so that may be worth it
Yeah.
just to get a feel for what those worlds are. You can start categorizing in your head. Like if you go to a world and you're like, yeah, this really does not fit any of the rumors that we've been hearing. I think that's very unlikely. You can put that down to your bottom of the list, and then if you go to one that's like, hey, this could really be a good place for them to hide. Then that would be a moon that you might want to spend that day on. You don't have to spend you don't have to survey every single one of them.
That's true.
From the information that you're getting from her and other people, you do think it would be extremely difficult to have a hidden pirate port here on Hadoukel, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd have to be somewhere where there's no farms.
And there
do they
basically aren't any places where there are no farms.
Well, I was going to say, do they have no farms at the poles, for example? Are there any large lakes with islands or anything like that?
No, the largest lake is the one on Villanot. There are rivers and stuff like that. There are no high mountains. There are no deep valleys. There are no thick forests. Yeah. This world really is a farmer's paradise because all of the trees that you see are basically orchards. Like, you have not seen any wild forests.
Yeah.
All of the grasslands, they're all well watered, so they're all farms at this point. And even at the poles, they get enough light that there's reasonable farming and stuff like that. They've just gone for shade plants and stuff like that, things that don't need as much direct light and stuff like that. So there's no snow-capped poles or anything like that. It's just a little tiny bit colder up there.
Yeah, I suppose one thing we want to do before we leave is check to see if Lafdul took back the nameplate of that ship.
I think you guys would have returned that, unless you were keeping it for some reason.
Maybe he's using it as a holy symbol.
That wouldn't have counted as stolen.
Returning it and then stealing it.
It's also big.
Yeah,
it's very obvious with the hand raised. It's like, Lafdul, can we return it? Why are you?
I just like the idea of Lafdul having to carry around a plank for a month.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions that you have for her?
I don't.
I can't think of any.
Yeah. Leva, Finn, any questions?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Then, is there anything else that you want to do in Villanot or on Hadoukel? Or head back to the ship and start a conversation about what you want to do next?
Well, we'll obviously thank her when we leave.
Yeah. And she would wish you luck, and she'll ask to be kept informed as best you can, understanding that you may not be back to Hadoukel, but she'll give you a couple people on some of the other planets that you could talk to if you want to get messages back to her in time and stuff like that. So,
does Finn want to study any of the plants? I think we get beaten up if we study the plants, don't we?
I mean, it depends on how you do it. All of the plants are very big. Like tomatoes the size of your head.
Yeah.
Watermelons the size of your torso. Or maybe watermelons the size of Higgamis's torso.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would
Well,
be. They would definitely be very suspicious of anyone investigating their plans. But
Yeah.
that's still something you could try.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll probably be going unless Finn wants to do something.
No.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys want to do next? What's your next move?
I think it's unless anyone's got any other suggestions, I think it's the 1-day tour of the moons to see if we see anything,
Mm-hmm.
and to
That
get
sounds
to get 1 day worth of 1 day worth of platinum coins, and then head off to Riox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there anything we want to pick up before we go to Riox? Oh, are we gonna pretend to be taking cargo to Riox, or are we just gonna go there?
Is there any cargo for Riox?
So I mean, you can't actually carry a whole lot of cargo, but you could still ask. What I would do is that, like, you would still be you'd have to purchase the cargo to take it.
Aren't we carrying cargo?
No,
We never agreed to do that because that was one of the things we were thinking about doing, weren't
it
we?
was one of the things you were thinking about doing, but then you were like, I made the point that this is all food stuffs primarily that they have here. You can't load some of that on, go rescue this guy, come back, and then like the stuff is getting stale and old at that point.
So we cast slow rot on it.
I mean, if you want to make a deal and fill up your cargo hold with as much as you can, you could do that.
How much would that cost?
What I will do is I'll just give you a profit or loss when you get to reworks, as opposed to actually charging you based on
Silly
taking that
question,
stuff.
but would slow rot actually help?
Not if you're
'Cause
going
me
there
if-
directly.
Because me and Finn could actually both cast it.
Because everything, like all this stuff, is either I mean, it's still going to take over a week to get there. So unless you were gonna be
like 2 months.
well, but that's the thing is, like, unless you were gonna go off on your own and wander around for a while, this stuff can it's all stuff that doesn't go bad in that period of time.
Yeah.
If we are going to take stuff, we probably don't want to do a day survey.
You could do that. It wouldn't be like 1 day. That's because, again, if Reorx is on this side of the sun to Zivlin, then it's like 2 days less than when it's on the other side, but that's not going to make that much difference on terms of what you carry. So one extra day is not going to be a problem.
Okay. All right, let's get some stuff on board and go then.
Okay. How many tons of space are you going to get?
I think you said we had less than I thought we had.
Yeah, do you want to work on that now and figure out what you got? Because one thing that the Battle Dolphin needs to do is that because you've got 2 ships with 2 separate cargo holds, I think that what I'm going to do is that your total cargo space for the Battle Dolphin itself is split between your ship and the shuttle.
Yeah,
shuttle
you were
has
saying that.
15 tons of cargo space, so then the Dolphin itself has 20, bringing it up to the
So
35 total.
yeah, so I'd put us down on the sheet for the hilt as having 11 tons with 15 tons standard,
Mhm.
which is from the weapon
Mhm.
we installed.
And you lose 10 on the Dolphin
So
for the library.
So I'd put the cargo on the Dolphin down to 14 tons from 35. Did I say how I calculated that? Yes. So I wrote, and this is wrong, but this is my working out. So you can. I think I'm going to need to drop this by another 2, maybe. So I've put modifications include adding 2 medium ballistas, which has lowered cargo capacity by 4 tons. And one of the 2 cargo decks being converted into additional cabin space, a research library and laboratory, which is lowered cargo by 17 tons. So I'd already taken off
Yeah, so
21 tons, but you're saying I should be taking off, instead of taking off 21 tons, I should be taking off 23 tons.
no. So the actual cargo capacity of the Dolphin itself is 20 tons, because to get to 35, it's the 15 of the shuttle and then the remainder on the Dolphin itself. Because then otherwise you've got 50 tons of cargo space on your vessel split between those two, and that's kind of ridiculous, I feel.
So if we had 20 tons of cargo space, would that be 10 tons per deck?
Yeah.
So then we'd be losing 10 tons.
Yeah.
We'd be better off then.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'd be losing 10 tons for the laboratory and rooms instead of 17. And we're still losing the 2 tons from the other one. So I make that 10 plus 2. 10 plus 4 plus 2 is 16. So we would be losing 16 tons in total, which would take us down.
But you do need to keep track of
I also
space on the shuttle and space on the ship itself.
Yeah.
My constructs would be quite heavy as well, I'd assume.
I'm not too concerned about that. I mean,
it's like half a mast worth of gold.
I'm not too concerned about that.
So I would make that 19 tons instead of 14. But
right, but your shuttle is down to 11.
Yeah,
correct.
So if there's 19 tons in total,
and you've got 8 on the Dolphin.
Hang on.
Ignore the 35. You got 20 total on the Dolphin, and 15 on the shuttle, for 35 total.
Yeah.
So you're down to 8 on the Dolphin itself, correct?
Hang on, I'm getting confused now. Right, because this should all add up. Come on, sheet, move. Right.
Although, wait a second, you've got 1 weapon on the shuttle and 2 weapons on the Dolphin.
Yeah, so we're losing 4 tons.
And they're all medium, right?
Yeah, 2 medium ballistas.
And then the medium magical one on the shuttle.
Yeah.
So you're 13 on the shuttle, 6 on the Dolphin itself.
6.
Yeah. Still comes out to 19 total, so you can get 19 tons worth of
so
cargo here.
I'm putting 19 for both ships. That's kind of fun because that turns our shuttle into the cargo carrier.
No, I wouldn't put 19 for both. It's 13 on the shuttle and 8 on the dolphin. Like that's what you've got available.
I thought it was 6 on the. I thought you said it was 6 on the dolphin.
Yeah, sorry, 6 on the dolphin.
Yeah, the only reason I'm putting the for both in there, and which I'm putting in brackets, is because the books put the totals for both.
Okay.
So
I
I'm
mean, as
putting
long as
6,
it's working for you, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm putting 16 for both ships, and I'm changing it so that it says standard is 35 tons for both ships.
Well, no, you can't put 35 as standard for both ships because the shuttle can't carry that much. The shuttle has 15.
No. When I'm putting standard, I'm on a standard ship, not our ship.
Okay, all right.
That's so that I know comparing to the books how far down we are.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why this ship is a bit bonkers. I'm sure that's confused a lot of people playing, and they think they've got extra space.
Well, I mean, it's not clearly cited. I mean, you're already benefiting a certain amount because you, to a certain extent, have 90 hull points in total for a 70-ton ship. So, but it's more that when the Dolphin breaks up, the shuttle is still intact. So. But yeah. So, but you also have things like spare wood for the for repairs and stuff on there too.
Yeah, which is taking up room, and I don't know that we've got that fully documented.
So let's say that you can only do what's on the shuttle for now, and 13 is the max that you can get right now.
Yeah, and to be honest, if we're gonna go there, if we might be landing on the shuttle, we might want to not take too much. Did we check to see whether we could land at Hardhammer Pass?
They do have a lake.
Right. So we're going to have to go down in the shuttle anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to take your full ship down too. You don't know. But they do have a lake.
Yeah. We'd have to land in a dry dock. And if we don't announce that we've got a dolphin and we're baiting for spies, as well as going to see people, we might well bluff someone into trying to spy on us.
All right, so you do want to get cargo, correct?
Yeah. I got cut off again for a little bit. Did everyone else want to do cargo?
I don't think anyone objected.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if people would actually speak up sometimes when these questions come up.
I don't know!
You don't know? All right.
I don't have any idea that could help.
But you could also say, yeah, that's fine with me, as opposed to just leaving the questions hanging.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right, sorry, James, but I got knocked offline and missed a bit, and I'm trying to catch up without disrupting the game. Yeah, okay. Seeing as we're doing a spy thing, we've got 3 people who are potentially good at that. Ockar is quite good at detecting people that are thinking evil thoughts.
Well,
and
that's debatable.
Lever, well, you've got the ability to do it. And Lever and Lafdul are good at sneaking around and finding things that are suspicious. Finn, I don't know whether
Finn.
No, I'm not ignoring
Finn. The shape changer of our group.
I'm not ignoring Finn. I don't know whether Finn will be able to figure out things that look wrong. Maybe Finn can ferret out these places where the Elitids are.
Well, and I mean,
possibly even as an actual ferret.
Yeah, maybe it's a ferret.
To be fair, Finn hasn't shown all of his powers, so it's understandable for the party members to not know everything that he can do.
Can he do animal forms? Can he do humanoid forms? Other
Right.
humanoids.
With his druid
Shape
shape
shifting.
change?
Well,
Yeah.
we don't know yet.
No,
He might be a dragon or something.
Right,
I
but
would've
out,
asked him,
out of
'cause
character.
that's-
Out of character, no, he can't.
Oh.
Imagine if Finn was playing the dragon that robbed us before. And it was like some
I
special
would not
patron
be
reward.
happy with old.
Some special patron reward where you come to be a dragon and follow us around and pretend to be one of the party for 2 years and then rob us blind again.
Okay, setting all that stuff aside,
Sorry.
you are going to get cargo, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing I was asking.
Who is going to go and negotiate for cargo?
Right. The reason why I was bringing up the spying thing is if we're doing this as a cover to try to draw people out when we arrive, what do people think would be useful for us to do when we come in? So we're obviously going to go there. We would be going there with the flag of Hidakal, pretending to be a normal trading ship. And then at some point we would want to sneak off and find the Company of the Chalice. So does that have any input on what cargo we should pick?
I mean, all you can really get here is food, so...
All right.
And
So we're
other
just-
natural materials.
On the natural materials.
We should get
This
loads
is-
of hemp and stuff, but that
Like-
wouldn't be any.
Yeah, I mean, like they would have hemp for
Some-
hemp rope. They, both raw hemp and hemp that's already been made into rope.
Do they have spider silk? Or
No.
not spider silk,
No.
silkworm.
No.
So,
Should we take more of that stuff, seeing as it doesn't go off?
yeah, it's not going to be worth our time.
Well, I know we don't want to be a trading ship, but if we took some
they,
stuff,
they also have
if we
things
took
like, I mean, they have livestock here, so they have leather, they have preserved
Yeah.
meats, they have
Giant sized?
no, it's only the plants that are giant sized.
Yeah. Okay.
No
What if
giant
we-
space hamsters here.
What if we get some of that stuff so that if we're going to pretend to be a cargo hauler, we can trade a minimum amount of it but show lots of it, and then we don't have to keep buying cargo to sell. And then when we're done with pretending to be a cargo ship, we can just flog the rest off next time we get somewhere. How's that sound?
That's fine.
I'm not objecting, put it that way.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So, can we check if there's anything in particular they like buying there? Or we wanting to sell it?
I love strawberries.
I mean, Riorx is interested in basically everything that Hidukal has to offer, because they do have farms there and stuff like that, but Riorx is a somewhat arid, very mountainous, rocky world, so it's
Fruits.
not the best place for growing stuff. A lot of what they do, they have some surface farms. They have fungal farms underground, stuff like that. But they don't have the variety that Hidukal has, and they don't have the amount that Hidukal has.
How about we do? We've got 13 tons to play with. How about we do a couple of tons of food, just so that we've got some food to sell them, and we've got loads of other stuff like hemp and stuff like that that we can hang on to afterwards. Let's go for that then.
Okay.
That's a silly question.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, say hypothetically we beat the octopus ship, what do? We just leave the octopus ship there because we can't really tow it. We would either have to split the crew.
What do you mean if we defeat them?
Yeah, if we defeat them.
You got a lot of spellcasters. You got a lot of spellcasters. You can have one of them. Unless the helm gets destroyed, you can have someone.
We can just take one of ours.
You can essentially do a fleet action.
Yeah.
Didn't we want to hire on more mercenaries somewhere? Because they have a heavy fighting force. This is only for
gonna want to if you're looking at mercenaries, Reorx is going to be the best place to do that because
well,
anyone that you're hiring away from Hadukal, you're hiring that away from the protecting of the farms, and they're going to ask for higher prices because Hadukal pays pretty well.
Yeah,
it does.
I mean,
it's a cushy job.
It is a cushy job, and
you get to hang around a farm and you get paid.
They
free.
They pay well, but it's also that if they start hearing that you're hiring away people that they're using to protect their farms, they're going to come in and up the price. So there'll be a bidding war.
Right. Yeah. And Hidako is the moon. Where's Reorx is the planet.
Okay, let's get back to the cargo. How much of what do you want? You can. All you need to do is say like X perishable, X non-perishable.
Yeah, 2 tons of food and 11 tons of non-perishable.
Really?
Well, you want to do more? You suggest
that ratio seems because it's not going to take us very long to get there.
How long does the food last?
I mean, all of this stuff. But all of this, the stuff is the stuff that you'd be buying, the perishable stuff, is stuff that can last a normal trip to Reorx, and then some. Because it needs to get there, it needs to be distributed, it needs to be able to store, and then eat. A lot of it is grain, which can last a very long time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dried fruits and stuff like that. There's some fresher stuff that just, can last for 3 weeks and stuff like that.
We can up it a bit. I was basically hoping to keep some non-perishable stuff so that if we don't find the pirates straight away, we still have cargo on our ship, so that our cover story matches with us having cargo. Which is why I don't want.
That's fine. So do other people have a suggestion on a different breakdown from 2 and 11?
Yeah. Not really.
Fine.
Do you want to go more near 50-50?
Honestly, I was going to go the reverse, but no, 2 people have said it's fine, so yeah, whatever.
Well, 4 tons of non-perishable then?
No, it's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'd just rather be on the way. I don't think it makes that much difference in the long run.
Okay. So who is doing the purchasing?
Well, it's normally Ockar's job, but
yeah, I'll handle it. I'll try to use my charms to get us some good prices.
All right, give me a GM roll charisma check, please.
Leva could make sure if you take level with her, she's pretty good with food in general.
With what?
With food in general, you use ingredients for cooking. I assume you've got an eye for food.
Yes, okay.
And what is your charisma reaction adjustment, please?
+6.
Okay.
This paladin knows the sales pitch.
Solas has cooking, doesn't? No, but actually,
No.
Finn should come with, because he can. If it's herbs and stuff, he knows a lot about that, much more than Leva does. And I think he has cooking too.
I mean, this is about trying to get a good price, not.
Yeah.
Because I'm not documenting exactly what you're getting. I'm just making a note. 2 tons of perishable, 11 tons of non-perishable. So. I mean, if someone wants to throw their hat in, that's fine. I'm just, it's going to be altering the numbers, the checks, as opposed to
I don't think
verifying whether something is good or not.
I was assuming that Braxon wanted us to check the state of the food, of the perishables.
I basically want us to look like a cargo ship. but we're not a cargo ship. So, yeah, I mean, fairly good food would be nice. I had a random thought though, Ord.
Mm-hmm.
These big fruits, is there anything that can be fired in a catapult?
Sacrilege.
I mean,
And is there any sort of
I will give
tactical
you
advantage?
time. We're coming up on the break, so I'll give you time to think about that and decide. I'm not.
Okay.
That's up to you. If you say I want these fruits so that I can throw them in a catapult, I'll say fine. It's going to cost you this much,
Watermelon.
and then
Okay.
we figure something out when you do that.
Yeah.
Nah, come on. Let's get the cargo to be sold afterwards. Otherwise,
Yeah,
why don't you buy stuff for yourself and of your own food and sorry to rant. Don't just waste food like that. No, sorry.
Yes. What? You've
I'm
never
just
had a food
wondering-
fight, Lever?
No, I was just
No,
I
actually,
just
I
had
haven't.
this. I just
You're
had this
missing out.
bizarre thought that there could be some sort of tactical advantage of covering a pirate ship deck with rotten tomatoes or something.
Right. So again, if you think that there might be, then you can buy the stuff and then you can try it, and we'll see what happens when it comes up. How's that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what Braxon says to Ockar.
You've never fired giant fruit at an enemy vessel. You don't know what the effects would be in game.
It would probably break up in transit.
So that's what it is. Anyway, with that, you get some cargo. I'm not giving you the price what it is right now. I will give you a profit loss when you get to reorcs.
Cool.
Instead. And same thing with, even if you don't sell stuff, then it's still going to be, when you do eventually sell it.
Brilliant.
So we'll be taking our break now. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So we'll see you shortly, everyone.
See you on the other side.